by the week.
Happy New Year, honey.
Happy New Year. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, Poozaloo.
That was cute.
Yeah, welcome to 2025. Welcome to Genius at Work 2025.
Yeah. And we're going into our second year of podcast.
Soon enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a few short weeks. We'll be at a full year of podcasting, and this will be like the 35th episode or something like that.
Is it really 35? I do not keep track of
this
obviously
is
the
gonna be
numbers
like
of them.
35. Yeah, so I think something like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, pretty
I
cool.
remember when we started and you were like, people, what was the thing you said? People don't get to like their 20th episode
Only 1% of podcasts make it to 20 episodes.
Look
So
at us.
We're probably in the top 0.0002% of podcasts right now, or something, if I had to guess. I'm sure
Well,
we
I'm
could.
proud of us.
Yeah, I know. When are we not proud of us?
I know.
As Jay says, it's just the show is us talking about our weekends and talking about how smart we are.
Well, let's talk about our weekends then.
Yeah, let's start with that. Because it does, so we're 5 days into 2025 right now. It's the Monday following New Year's Eve. And it feels like this year has been really long. But like, if I think back to like Christmas is less than 2 weeks ago, and it feels like an eternity ago.
It really does.
Because we had, it felt like it was like 5 weekends in a row. Because it was like weekend, Christmas, weekend, New Year's, weekend. So it was like 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 2 days off for 2 weeks, and it like it's been a little hard to keep track of like what day it is.
For sure. I mean, we were talking about it just like the other day and you're yesterday, and you're like, well, that happened, and you're like, holy shit, that was only 3 days ago. I'm like, I know. So
It felt like it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So it's nice to be back like on normal programming.
Yep.
Back on a Monday and back to it.
And now we have our like regular podcast cadence that we're starting as of today. Actually,
Yeah.
we weren't planning to start it today, but it just turned out that things worked out that we were able to start it, which is you get out early on Mondays.
Yep.
We are going to like do a walk to Coliseum, get a workout in together.
Which I love.
It's so great.
Love it.
Walk back and talk about what we're going to discuss on the podcast on the walk back, and then sit down and shoot it on a Monday night,
Yep.
and then probably do a little bit more work, and then probably watch Kill Tony for an hour before we pass out.
Yeah.
But I like that. That seems like fun.
No, and then this way it's done for the week. You have your time to like do whatever you need to do, edits, clips, all that kind of stuff, and then it's ready to go for the following week. It's like on a schedule, because that's where we were struggling towards the end of like this fall winter with trying to figure out like when to get it done. We're cramming it in. It's feeling rushed, and so now having it on a schedule, we know like, okay, like sit down and do it.
And it makes sense. To, like, I like how it's on a Monday. You're getting out early. We're kind of like getting a little bit of like a build up where we're walking and we're together a little bit, and we're like kind of vibing, and then we come back and we knock it out here. And I feel like Monday, I feel like good energy right now. So that's what we're going to make an effort to do over the next several months and see how this goes. And I guess
that's one of our 2025 goals.
one of them. Not a resolution necessarily, but it's a goal.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we'll talk about a few more probably as time goes on here. But where did we leave off? Last episode was our Christmas episode.
Yeah, Christmas episode. So our last week of 2024 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We hosted our White Elephant gift exchange.
Was there anything after Christmas?
No,
We definitely did like a lot that week. We definitely did a lot of stuff.
I mean, it was Christmas.
I could tell because my abs when I wake up in the morning are not where they should be. I put on a little bit of holiday bulk. And we were definitely out. We were definitely out like almost like every other night. Not necessarily like drinking all that much, but we were like out to dinner and doing all kinds of stuff. Who knows? It's all
a blur. Except for like
blur.
some like the White Elephant gift exchange that we hosted this year.
That was the one that I wanted to make sure we talked about because that was a ton of fun. Yeah.
So yeah, explain.
Our like best tightest friends, including like, you know, my buddy Jay, who's been my best friend since high school. We, for the last several years, have done a White Elephant gift exchange that's kind of bounced from house to house, and it's always fun. And that whole crew is just like the silliest, most fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's just always a good time, and they're always down for a good laugh and something like a little goofier, I guess. So we knew that it was going to be a fun night. We had chickpea from Prana, so I got to shout them out because Prana is, I can't say it's my favorite coffee shop because there's a lot of favorite coffee shops, and I don't want to like. No, I don't want to like.
It's one of the faves.
It's definitely on the circuit. It's on the coffee shop circuit. It's over on East 7th Street. Bomb place. And honestly, I gotta say it, best Americanos. They have the best Americanos in the hood. And it's just like a vibe over there. And they have a food truck called Chickpea that is Mediterranean food. It's all seed oil free and real food. No filler ingredients. Absolutely delicious. Outstanding. And Mike over there is my boy, and he hooked us up with an awesome dinner catered.
A spread.
Like a spread like you wouldn't believe. There was 8 people here, and there was enough food for probably 20.
So much food. I brought food to work that week. We had that all week for dinner. We were still eating it. We were like, oh my, it was so delicious though.
So we had that, and we realized like the white elephant thing is always... it's always fun, but it kind of goes by like a little too fast.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it's like a little tame, and then like it's just over, and then what? So we decided to like pick the order for White Elephant. We put together literally less than 24 hours beforehand. We put together a bunch of like really fun little mini games that we were playing
while we were high.
While we were high as hell.
So that was fun, like doing it, and then the next day we're like, do any of these rules make sense? And we were figuring out the order and the redemption rounds of people able to come back in.
It went off without a hitch.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
It was perfect.
We had like reindeer hoop.
Yeah, like
ring toss basically.
We had kazoos.
We had a kazoo game that we were playing. We had where you stuff a big pillow up your shirt. And everybody's wearing like a Santa hat, and you put a ping pong ball between your knees, and you have to like waddle over to a cup and try to drop it in. We did this one where everybody put a cookie on their forehead, and the goal is to put your hands behind your back and shake your face until you get the cookie into your mouth, which I have to say I dominated almost every single game.
You did really well in that cookie game. No one else could get that game.
In the cookie one, I crushed it.
Yeah,
that was
no
like
one else
undeniable, like absolute domination.
Yeah.
Not even close. But, and everything else, I still did really well.
Yeah.
I came in 3rd overall. I choked in the ping pong ball between the knees game.
Yeah, that was like a silly mistake you made. And Jay and Blake just like got the rest.
It's all good. I don't. Yeah. Next time. But
next year
but I had a great time. It was so funny. It was so fun. Belly laughs.
Oh my gosh, I pretty much like almost peed my pants like multiple times that night between like the games, the comments that were being made, and then we start like the white elephant and the gifts that were being opened up. You got a gift that you really wanted, and then it was stolen from you.
It was
fair is fair.
This sick ass like saber.
It was a pizza cutter.
It was a saber.
Okay.
It was a saber with a jaguar on it.
It came with pizza flour, but it's okay.
Yeah, but like this didn't look like an average pizza cutter. If that's what it was used for, like you could have used this to like chop down a tree if you wanted to. This thing was badass with a big old wooden handle and like this brass fixture on it and a huge ass blade and a sick jaguar that looks like the jaguar on my chest.
It did. That definitely did.
And I stole it, and I couldn't wait to. I don't know what I was going to do with it. I was going to carry it around the neighborhood. It was going to be my talisman. And then, you know how like Jafar walks around with like the cobra staff? This was going to be my talisman that I just like carry around with me and cast spells on people with. But then it got stolen from me. Jay took it from me, and I almost texted him the next day. No joke. I almost texted him being like, you know that saber is like supposed to be mine. That is intended for me. I was supposed to have that. The universe is telling me that is supposed to be mine. We got to figure something out here. I almost texted him that.
Well, he said when he was taking it from you, like he almost felt bad about it because you were like looking at it and like admiring it. Like you weren't paying attention to any other gifts being opened up. You were just watching it.
Because I know that's supposed to be mine, and I genuinely believe that one day it will be mine.
Okay. Birthday present.
Jay said that he was cutting open bagels and smearing cream cheese on his bagels with it.
Oh, God.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
That doesn't seem, yeah, that can't be true. He's just messing with you.
I hope so.
Anything else you want to say about White Elephant
No,
on that night?
No, I just had a great time.
I did too. I can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
And then New Year's Eve, we went into the next holiday, and I thoroughly enjoyed our New Year's Eve this year. We kind of like have always, we've always hosted New Year's or had a party for like 5 years in a row, I guess we did.
We said that last time, that there was like a handful of years there where we were hosting like really, like in my opinion, like fun parties. And I know that they were fun because they got bigger every year.
Yeah.
And then people, when we stopped doing them, they were like, why'd you stop hosting those parties?
I know, and we told our friends at White Elephant that we want to like start hosting again, and they're like, "Oh yes, please do!" Like because it was something people look forward to. So we'll definitely do that again. But then
I am thinking pajama and lingerie party.
yes,
That's my
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
contribution.
You always do the planning.
I
Like,
know,
what do
I
you
know.
mean your contribution?
Well, that's
like,
my initial. That's the idea that is making me motivated enough to actually like pursue it.
Yeah. But then like the past couple of years of New Year's, we've had like set plans. And then this year kind of we were going from a dinner to then meeting up with other people to then doing something else. So it was kind of like all over the place.
It was definitely like, well, I guess it was like, normally it's like, we go out and we go to one thing and you stay there. And this year was like a lot more bouncing around from one thing to another and seeing several different groups of people. It was fun. It was a good time. It was kind of like cool to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because at least
like
like
a little unknown and uncertain, which was kind of...
It was unknown enough where it's like, we don't know where we're necessarily going to end up, but we had enough structure where it was like, okay, we're going to dinner and then we know we're meeting these people here. And then like after that, it's like, there's a variety of different like options that we could go to. And I would say like a relatively chill New Year's for the most part, but
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
why not? I could have used. I think I needed that this year, honestly.
Yeah, and then I mean we probably would have gotten into more if we didn't have to wait 45 minutes for an Uber.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was probably like the craziest thing is when we're leaving the one place to go back and meet up with people. And I mean,
I was saying that
was
we were outside of a particular venue and it's like these massive wooden doors and we're waiting 45 minutes for an Uber and like they kept canceling and checking back and then like then it would say like 20 minutes and then they would cancel again and I was like couldn't believe how long we were standing there and these like massive wooden doors kept opening up and like every time they opened up it was like another like demon like like walking out of this hotel with like some sort of like bizarre something happening and I'm not going to get into like the details of it but I said it was like we were standing outside like the gates of hell.
Yeah, either the people coming out or the people going in. I was like, what is happening? I was like, do you want to start walking? I was like, should we just start walking home? Like, let's walk east, please.
There was some wild shit happening. We were just sitting there. People are like, are you coming? Like, are you good? I'm like, I'm waiting on it. I've been waiting at this point 35 minutes for the Uber. And then like, again, another however long to get back across town. So yeah, we definitely... Would you say that was a waste of 45 minutes? It was certainly entertaining for
It was definitely entertaining.
45 minutes. I probably would have preferred to be almost anywhere else, but it was so.
Yeah, you and I just kept making like eye
funny.
contact with each other, trying to avoid what was like walking around us. I was like, what is happening?
And this is a nice place too. Like
Yeah.
it's outside of a very nice place, and I don't know. New Year's
Brings out the creatures.
I guess brings out the demons. But yeah, no, good time. It was fun. And then the next day we went to Erica, who you're listening, and this party was, I guess it wasn't really, I guess it was a party.
Yeah, it was like a
wellness,
like renew, refresh New Year's Day party where Erica, she set up a whole event. It was like from 1 to 6 and it had different times of a cold plunge, she had yoga, she had sound bath. What else was there?
There was a grazing
Breath
table.
work. Oh, the grazing table.
Which was like basically a giant charcuterie board. that I was just.
It was beautiful.
I told you I had to have holiday bulk. I was holiday bulking at that grazing table for sure.
But then she had her vision board table or set up, mocktail station, and then the thing that I loved was the write a letter to your future self.
Yeah, for next year.
Yeah, so she'll mail it out for us come end of 2025. And so, yeah, you could sit down and write yourself a letter and like what you're proud of. Like she kind of gave like little prompts if you wanted to do that, or you just kind of like wrote whatever you wanted to. Did you do prompts or whatever you wanted to?
I wrote just a full-on letter to myself exactly 1 year later.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it in a year.
And we didn't address it.
Yeah, because we don't know where we're going to live.
We're like, we'll let you know what address to send it to at the end of the year. We'll see where we are.
So yeah, and then I was thinking like which again I think we'll chat about here in a minute. We want to do more events this year. We did a few events in 2023 and early 2024. We're going to start kicking some more into gear here this year in a variety of different ways. And Erica, I'm gonna be hitting you up because you did such an awesome job, and it sounds like you like threw that thing together in just a short week or two, and it came out really awesome. So I need to pick your brain and maybe just like use you as my event coordinator.
I mean, it was perfect. Like every little detail was thought of, and again, she whipped it up in like a couple weeks. And I was like, we need to work with her like in the future for things. And I love the idea of us hosting a New Year's Eve party and then like rolling it into the next day of being like, okay, now come back for like a recovery and refresh time.
Yeah.
And you can wear your lingerie and pajamas again if you want to.
So, we'll have to have that conversation because like I was very impressed with how she put that together, seemingly quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what was that? So then like that's the weird thing. Like that feels like that was 2 weeks ago.
No,
and it was less than a week ago. 5 days ago or something like that. Yeah. 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So, time flies.
when you're having an amazing life.
When you're being present.
Well, do you have a New Year's resolution?
No. You know I don't do resolutions.
Why don't you
Dumb question.
Why don't you do resolutions?
Because you shouldn't wait to if there's something that you should start doing or something that you want to change about yourself or something you want to stop doing, what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting for the start of the new year? You should just do it now. And again, that's like the whole motivation versus commitment kind of thing. It's like if you're going to start it arbitrarily, you're going to stop it just as arbitrarily. So why not? You should, like, the second you realize you need to do something, you implement a plan, or you put a plan in place, and then you go about implementing that plan as quickly as possible. Now, with that being said, I guess there's a few things that we're working on this year. So I do have goals for this year. I have goals.
I guess what's the difference then for you in your mind of a resolution versus a goal?
I mean, my goals just happen to, they're like goals with like endpoints, and they happen to align like with the calendar year a little bit more. Like I'm seeing the end of this year at least as like a finish line, or at least like a
the end of 2024 or 25.
The end of 2025. Okay. I'm seeing that as like, okay, I would like to have a bunch of things accomplished by then. As opposed to like it's the beginning of the year, so I'm gonna like lose weight or stop vaping or I guess like not drink for a month or whatever the case might be. It's just kind of like, why are you, again, you're starting it arbitrarily. I'm just saying like, okay, I know that there's a handful of things that by the end of this year I would like to accomplish, those are different, I think. A resolution is like you're starting it.
Yeah.
Now, and there is no like, I don't know. Am I making sense?
So I guess it's like, I
haven't thought of it without that all that much.
Yeah, so like I guess if like a person has a resolution, it's usually like you said, the start of the year. You're making up for something you probably did wrong. Versus I feel like
it's usually like I'm going to start something or I'm going to stop something.
Yeah,
is usually what a resolution is. It's like starting a habit or stopping a habit. Whereas I'm saying like I already have like this thing I'm building, and when it comes to all the stuff that I already am putting in place, like I have certain targets that I would like to hit over the next 12 months.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of like...
Write in. Tell me if that's different. I think it is. A goal for the year is in my opinion, different from a resolution as far as I would like define those terms.
Correct. I agree with you. I'm just trying to think of like how someone else may say like, oh, well, my resolution is to train for a half marathon and I've signed up for the marathon in March. Would you think that's a resolution or that's a goal?
That's a goal.
Right? That I would think that's a goal, but I think a lot of people probably would word it as like I'm going to be training for a marathon. But I think that's a goal.
Yeah, it seems like more like a goal, I guess. Yeah. Again, I'm thinking like you're starting a habit or you're stopping a habit. Like, which feels more like as like an ongoing type of thing.
Yes.
Like nobody starts going to the gym and they're like even if like your resolution was like to lose 20 pounds, that's a goal. And I would say like that's a short-sighted goal is also what I would say. Because your goal should be to lose 20 pounds and then like keep it off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure.
So you could have a resolution, which is a dumb idea. You can have a goal, which is a good idea, or you can have a short-sighted goal, which is also a dumb idea, in my opinion.
Or you can have small goals to get to a big goal.
A small goal is fine.
Like, because I mean, a lot of times people need like these benchmarks to get to that ultimate.
I'm all about small wins.
Yeah.
You have to have micro wins.
Yeah, micro wins, because that also keeps you like present and grateful for those little things that you're hitting for that long-term thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and like, but that's also why the idea of like I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, 20 pounds is arbitrary, because like you can lose 20 pounds and like still not look great. You know, like if you like lose 20 pounds the wrong way, or like you lose 20 pounds like with Ozempic or something, and you're not hitting the gym, it's like, okay, so that's
you starved yourself for
like it's and you're so again like that's a short-sighted like pretty fixed goal that it's like what's the next step from there? Like your goal shouldn't be to lose 20 pounds. It should be to be in the gym consistently 3 days a week if you've never done that before, or like 3 days a week for an hour every single week without fail. And then that's how you actually like not just lose 20 pounds, but probably put on muscle, get stronger, get healthier, and maintain it for the long term.
And so like then do you believe in the idea of starting with like something attainable? Like, so someone who's never, say, been in the gym and they're like, I want to start working out. Should they start with like at least hitting the gym 2 or 3 times a week and not start 5 days a week?
It depends. It has to come down to like what's realistic for them, and like what are you willing to again commit to?
Yeah.
Commit to, not what do you want to do.
Yeah.
It's like what can you actually literally commit to and not fail on. And if it's 2 days a week and it's been 0 and now it's 2, well that's still better.
Right.
And then like once you get to 2, then it's like all right, now we realize like how maybe fun this is, or how how much progress we're making.
Yeah, you're seeing the benefit
you're starting
of it.
to like maybe look forward to it every once in a while, and then you're like, you know what? I think I could squeeze 3 in, and then you raise the ceiling. So I'd rather have you playing at the ceiling at 2 days a week than shooting for the stars with 5, and then it turns out that's not manageable. And if you're and there's so many reasons why, like if you're starting a program that's 5 days a week and you dial it back slightly, that's not advantageous, because like there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to get into all of it.
Yeah, and I feel like we've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's not advantageous to you. And it also is like, once again, what you're doing is you're playing at the floor. You're constantly like lowering your floor, as opposed to, you know what, I haven't been in the gym consistently. I'm going to commit to 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then it becomes 3, and then it becomes 4. And maybe it just stays there, and that's fine. But like, I think that's a better strategy, like a crawl, walk, run strategy, versus do everything, new diet,
change everything.
Yeah. I'm
Wake
gonna,
up at 6
like
a.m.
basically like live an entirely different life from what you're familiar with, like from one day, from like December 31st to January 1st, and you expect to maintain that. That's like kind of dumb. That's like very dumb, in my opinion. Because you're not going to be able to do that.
No,
and that's,
for sure.
and that's probably why you've like not been able to maintain it in the future, is because like you look at it as like all or nothing. It's like, dude, let's make incremental changes. Let's first off focus on the low-hanging fruit, and then like let's see how we do. and then we'll up the ante a little bit, and we'll see how we do, and then we'll up the ante a little bit, and you're constantly pushing your ceiling. That's how I train people. That's how I did it for myself. The all or nothing approach is why you're like constantly like in these wild cycles, because like you're probably all or nothing about everything, and that all really quickly becomes nothing. Oh, I'm gonna start doing like this hobby for really intensely for a month, and then it's like now you're on to the next thing. Or I'm gonna, again, like that's kind of why like I also don't love like even the idea of like I'm gonna run a marathon this year. It's like, okay, but then what? Let's talk about why we're doing that.
What's the why behind it?
I just want to know the why. And I'm not saying that it's a bad goal. It's just like, I want to know why. That's probably the more important question, as to like what makes a goal, in my opinion, good or bad.
Yeah.
So
let's talk goals.
Yeah, let's talk goals.
So
I wasn't planning on like necessarily going down that route. Where are we?
You're at like 26:30.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we're fine.
Did that make sense? Was that like clear?
Yeah, I think I was just trying to, again, separate
I wasn't certain as like to my thoughts on that. So we just sort of threw that a little bit.
Yeah.
So resolutions are dumb. Goals are good, but you have to have a why behind the goal. And you have to
have to be like attainable goals. And like,
yeah, there should be attainable goals, and you should start, rather than like go all or nothing, you should start small and like bite off a little bit. And then like we'll continue to, again, like push the envelope and raise the ceiling over time. Because I tell this story all the time. I will tell this story. I don't think I've ever told it on the podcast. And I use this like when I'm talking to my clients. It's, I worked out pretty regularly in high school because I did football and I did track. And because there was like the camaraderie of like my teammates, and we had like coaches, and of course like I was training to compete in a sport. It gave me a reason to like be consistent and be in there, and it was fun. And I was like, also, I was the strongest kid in my school. So like in high school I was, and I wasn't like in awesome shape. I was like chubby, but like I was a lineman and I threw the shot put. So like it was fine. Like that's what I told myself, at least. And then when I got out of school, I remember specifically, I kind of like stopped going to the gym for like a brief period of time. And then I got back in the gym, and I didn't really have like a plan. I didn't really know so much what I was doing. I mean, I kind of just knew like what I did in like my high school weight room. And I kind of started with like that as my basic structure. And eventually like next week I go in, after my first week, I go in the following week, and I'm like, well, I don't have to do squats anymore, because squats are for like athletes, and I'm not training for anything now. So you know what, like I'm gonna do everything else, but I'm not gonna do my squats anymore. Those aren't important. And then the next week it was like, for legs, I'm just gonna hit like leg extensions. And then next week it's like, I'm not gonna do leg day. I'm just gonna do all the other stuff. And then it became like, I'm not gonna do any exercises I don't wanna do. And then it became, I'm not in the gym anymore. So that's how people like trick themselves into lowering their floor over and over again, is like they go all in without a plan, without structure, without an understanding of a why of what they're trying to accomplish. I had a why in high school. I didn't have a why after.
Exactly. You were like, I'm not an athlete anymore.
I was just like, oh, this is what like, we were doing.
Yeah.
So like, I'm going to kind of like amorphously like use a weird version of that and do it. And then like, I'm going to just pick and choose what I want to do and see what feels good.
Yeah.
And do what's comfortable and do what's convenient and take the easy path. And eventually it's just, I'm not in the gym anymore. And the next thing I know, I've gained a tremendous amount of weight. And then I'm like, oh fuck. And here's the good thing, is at 19 years old, I realized like I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I saw that pattern the first time. I remember like, there's not much I remember about like my like weight loss story. I've told you that. Like I've almost like purged it from my brain. I think it's because like I disassociate with like the person I was at 18 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
But which like is a whole other thing. But but like I remember specifically being like, no, I stopped squatting first. The first excuse, the first decision that I made that led me down the path to not working out is I stopped squatting. So what have I done? Literally every week since then, I squat. Every single week for the last 20 years. And because I know that, like, I look at that as like, if I'm doing that, then I'm pushing myself. I'm playing at the ceiling. And like, I can't lower my floor from there. And so when I'm sitting down with people and I'm talking to them about what their goals are, and I ask them like, how many days can you commit to? And they always go 4 or 5. I'm like, I'm not asking you how many you want to do. I'm asking you how many you can commit to. And they go, well, probably 4. And I'm like, okay, so we're between 3 and 4.
Yeah. For sure, of course. 'Cause they're going to tell you something probably more.
Exactly.
It's like, like what they want to. They don't want to seem like weak or not committed to like really going all in.
Yep.
When it's like, no, like you're asking, like be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like what can you truly commit to?
Yeah.
That you're going to be able to work, have your lifestyle, have your family, do all the things you want to do, but also get your shit done.
And I've seen it with a couple people over the last year where it's like, they go from 5 to 4, and then they go from, a fancy gym that they're paying for to a not so fancy gym, and then it's like they're working out at home, and then like little by little, like you just start chipping away at it, and it doesn't take long. Like once you make that first excuse, once you stop doing squats, all those other excuses are like a waterfall. It's like it just happens because the floodgates have broken. So again, I wasn't planning on going into that. So
it's okay. I think it's an interesting story, though. I think a lot of people probably can relate to that, and that's like what a lot of people do. That's why there's such a thing as a New Year's resolution. Yeah. Because people have to like feel like they have to put something on, like they have to make a change.
It's New Year, New You, baby.
Yeah. But let's get back to goals.
Okay. So
let's talk business goals. I think obviously this whole past year was building the business. And what are the
I'll
big
just
things
say
you want to hit?
I also do not like, I guess this is like also important to point out that like your goals should also be like generally lofty. I'm not saying to like set meek goals, but it's like you should also set high goals, because one of my goals this past year was to sell both of these houses. And guess what? We didn't sell these homes. Now we do have a contract on Holly that should close in the next couple months or couple weeks.
It's like 2 weeks.
In the next couple weeks, and we got some action and an offer on this one that we're kind of working through. Which is great, but like that's priority. It's been priority number 1. It's still priority number 1 is to figure out like where are we going next in terms of where we're living, because I want a fucking gym. I want a fucking gym so fucking bad. For 2-3 years now, I want a fucking gym so bad. So that's number 1, and the houses have to go first before we're able to figure that out. And then with that, we're going to do...
Moving on.
With that, we're going to have events, of course, there. We're going to have workouts there. Not only will it be for us to train our clients, but we'll be training... we'll be like having group workout classes. What I'd like to make regular sauna, cold plunge. I would love if we could end up at a place with a pool or with like some like nice yard where we can create like an environment that people like want to come and chill and hang out at, like work out and also recover and also chill and like have fun. That would be like an ideal setup. So like that is all priority number 1. Yeah. Without a doubt. Also, we are going to do Fast Fest in about a month. Yep. So for those of you who don't know, last year, or I should say about 2 years ago, we did an 84-hour fast. So I'll say that again. 2 years ago, we did an 84-hour fast, the two of us, and we like posted it on Instagram. We kind of like documented the 3.5 days of not eating. It was just water and electrolytes. The only things that we were able to ingest. No coffee, nothing. Yeah. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm I just made a comment. Go watch there's another episode where I reference somebody else who was fasting. Just going to nix that there. So yeah, it's just water and electrolytes is all you're able to eat for 3.5 days. It sucks. It's not fun. I obviously hate it. It's honestly miserable, and you don't feel great during it. There's no doubt about it. If anybody who says they feel great during a fast, like, I don't get that. I felt like shit. But
and again, I think then there's just different ways people fast also, because some people do that fast where like they are also taking stuff in, but it's like tricking the body. There's like something you can take that like tricks your body into fasting, but it's like just fucking fast.
Yeah,
like you're doing it fast.
Yeah. So we'll have. So I guess the point of the story is, am I doing a good job of speaking today? I don't even know. We did our own, posted it on Instagram, and throughout the weekend and even like for a few weeks after, we had a handful of people say, hey, like, you did that fast. Let me know next time you do it. I'd like to do it with you, or something like that. So we're like, I guess maybe we should make it a bigger deal. So last year, we put up a post on Instagram basically saying, hey, we're going to do a fast, 84-hour fast, like, join us. We're like, we'll do a walk one day. We'll do a little bit of like a get-together party, like a bowling thing the next day. And then on the third day,
we did yoga.
Oh, we did yoga and breath work in the park.
Yeah, yoga and breath work in the park, which that yoga was
great.
It was great, but it was so hard because at that point, we're going on like 72 hours. And I was like, can I just lay down?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more strenuous than it probably should have been. Or that it would have otherwise been. And then on the final day, we had, I don't know, a couple dozen people here for a break fast brunch where everybody brought something. It was like a potluck, and everybody who was involved got to break their fast here. We all did it together and kind of celebrate, and we smoked some weed in the backyard. For those of us that were interested, it was great. It was a lot of fun. We had last year 70 people, I think, signed up. I think about 50 actually started. And then by the end, about 25 that actually completed the full 84 hours, at least from what we know, as far as the numbers are concerned. So that was like with just a couple weeks notice, like not even really thinking about it. We kind of just like threw it together and we're like, let's try this. So now this year we're going to do it bigger. We'll do it better. The other thing is that we donated a couple $1,000s to the Central Texas Food Bank because we're sitting here like, oh, look at us. We're going to choose to not eat for 3.5 days. Kind of like a first world problems kind of thing. Whereas obviously there's a lot of people who don't get to choose when they eat or what they eat. So we figured the average American, I think, spends like $22 a day on food. And since we're not eating for 3.5 days, that comes out to like $70-something. So we suggested a donation of like $73 or whatever it is. Whether you're participating in the fast or not, to raise money for people who suffer from food scarcity. So this year we are, I'm not going to say just yet, but we're forming a partnership with a local nonprofit, which I'm really pumped about.
Yeah, for sure.
Had a conversation with one of their folks over there last week, and she was like pretty pumped about working with us, and they've had a lot of like really good press and promotion lately. So I feel like it's a cool opportunity to like be affiliated with. So we'll form something with them. We'll have some events. We'll do a breakfast party, and that's going to be in mid-February. I think it's like February 19th to 23rd or something like that. So it'll be a Wednesday.
We'll be talking more about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking more about it. We're going to plan more of the details of it this week. So again, 3.5 day fast, February 19th to the 23rd. The idea is like you don't eat anything except water and electrolytes, no sugar.
Yeah.
Coffee is up to you. We don't do coffee, but you can do coffee. You can't do Adderall either.
Yeah. Something we should honestly consider, like, because I don't think we did any of it last year, is we should, leading up to it, really talk about like prep. Because like think of, like for me, like, and you, like caffeine and like a caffeine headache. Like, so start like people like on a weaning program,
Yeah.
like off of stuff.
Yeah.
So then like that Thursday morning when you're like expecting to have your coffee and then like that midday, you're like, oh my God, I have a pounding headache right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's something we should like start like plan for to do.
So that's all the stuff we'll be talking about
Yeah.
later this week.
Yeah.
And the idea is like Wednesday night at 10 p.m., no more eating.
Yep.
You don't eat Thursday. You don't eat Friday. You don't eat Saturday. You wake up Sunday.
And you,
If you're here in Austin, you
Yeah.
can come over and we throw
we break fast.
big old bash and we break fast together. And it's a joyous occasion.
Oh
Trust.
my gosh.
So as bad as fasting sucks for those 3.5 days, the way you feel after a fast is unreal. As long as you're eating good food.
Yep, of course, yeah.
Healthy, good, high protein food, easily digestible food, it is unbelievable the way you feel. Certainly that day.
That whole week.
And then that whole week, like you feel like you're a rocket ship. Because it really does like clean out your system. We'll talk more about the fast as we'll like get more. We'll be more like
Scientific.
we'll get a little more scientific about the fast stuff. We'll give a whole history and rundown of fasting. But you feel incredible, and then like I feel like I have like double the gains. Not only do you like come out of it shredded, and like it stays.
Yeah.
It doesn't like for the most part. If you're like are in decent shape, like you'll keep a good chunk of that like that leanness that you get. But I feel like my body is like absorbing every nutrient I give it so like aggressively that following week, and then like I'm looking like so jacked afterwards. So if you're looking to get shredded, jacked, and sexy, and
Get rid of some free radical cells floating through your body.
kill cancer cells, clean out your system, hit like it's honestly like an entire system reset. Donate to a good cause and help promote a good cause, and break fast with us.
Yeah, and do something with the community.
And be a part of the community, the True Fitness and Focus community. Highly recommend that you get involved with Fast. So that's going to be another goal.
Our first, that's one of the goals. And then we have another. I don't know how much you want to talk about that one. The other event that we want to plan for March.
Event.
Or program that we want to do.
Yeah. With the couples coaching.
Yeah.
You guys may have heard of 75 Hard, which is it's like a 75-day challenge, I guess, where you have to work out twice a day. You drink a gallon of water. You don't drink alcohol. You stick to a diet. You read for 10 minutes a day.
You take a photo.
You take a progress photo. It's like 7, I think that's it. I think it's like 7 things.
I'm not really sure.
And you have to do those every day for 75 days. And when you're done, of course, you're feeling good, you're looking good, you've learned a lot, blah, 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 blah. So it's excellent. I think it's good for certainly, especially for people who, want that jump start. Because like it has a clear start and a clear stop. Now, again, my question would be, why are you doing the 75 hard? Why specifically? What's your why behind it? Yeah. But like,
why would you stop?
Yeah, and then why would you stop after that if you feel so good after doing all of that? Like, why would you just make it for 75 days?
Why just do it for life?
But they could say the same thing about what we're about to say, right?
Exactly.
So like the goal, I think the reason I like that challenge is because it's kind of like, I guess when it comes to like running a marathon, for example, it's like, I'm going to train for a marathon, and I'm going to feel really accomplished afterwards. And like you should feel tremendously accomplished after a marathon. It's a hard-ass thing to do. But it's like, what are you looking for that? Like, what is the point of the accomplishment? Because like, unless you're trying to like learn how to love running for the long term, I'd ask you like, what are you looking to feel from that marathon? And I'm not saying that it's wrong to do a marathon and that you shouldn't feel good about being accomplished. I would just like, with anything, if you're truly being intentional about it, I would ask, well, why am I doing this? What feeling or what like am I looking to like get from it intrinsically, or extrinsically? So with the 75 hard challenge, the reason I like it is because I feel like for a lot of people, they see it as just like that initial difficult obstacle challenge to face, but they will learn how fucking good you feel after 75 days of working out every day, drinking a gallon of water every day, eating healthy, not drinking alcohol, reading and expanding your mind.
Yep.
So like, I think the goal of that is just to go like, yo, like, first off, you just did it for 75 days. Why not continue?
Yeah.
And also like, look how good and awesome you feel. Like, why wouldn't you want this forever? So that is, I think, actually like a cool concept. Is that how they market it, or is that what they say about it? I don't know. But like, I would think that that's probably where a lot of people end up, is they're like, you know what? I felt really good when I was drinking a gallon of water a day and working out. So they're like, I should at least do those two things for the next rest of my life.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is something similar called the 60 Synergy Challenge as part of Supernova Couples Coaching, where it's a 60-day challenge for husband and wife, partners whatever, for a couple to do together over the course of 60 days. And I'm not going to give you all the challenges just yet, but the idea is to first and foremost get in shape together, foster more connection, encourage meaningful conversation and collaboration and discussion between two people that maybe like when things get a little stale and mundane and routine day to day, you just kind of start falling into the same patterns, the same discussions, the same conversations. You're not really growing. You're not really touching on maybe like more growth oriented or even uncomfortable conversations and topics.
Yeah, or just like not having like goals, or like not knowing each other's goals, or like your goals as a couple.
Yeah, you might have like drifted apart, and this is designed to help you build that connection again, and then even if very slightly, like help align you on shared goals or a shared purpose, or a little bit of a more clear vision of what you both want for yourselves and your life and your relationship moving forward. And it's 5 things that you need to do as part of the challenge for 60 days. Again, it's going to be called 60 Synergy. We're going to be launching that in a couple months. We're hoping for March.
Yeah,
we're shooting
that's a
for
goal
March.
for March.
There's a lot that's going to go into it, and I don't know exactly how long it's going to take to really put it all together. But I see that, and I genuinely, like 100% without question, know that if couples do this challenge for 60 days, they're going to be like inseparable. They're going to have so much more passion and power and purpose between them than they would beforehand, without fail, without question. So I'm super pumped about rolling that out. So that's another big initiative for 2025, without a doubt.
Any other business goals?
Um,
We started this past weekend our filming for our content that we're going to be pushing.
Yeah. If there is ever a resolution, this is it. But like, it just so happens to have aligned with the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But we are now going to be restart. So in 2023, we started putting out content pretty regularly, and we were doing an okay job of it. I think we did more than an okay job of it. We did a really good job, considering we had no idea what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
We didn't really we didn't even know like why we were putting it out. We were just kind of like doing it. Like, I think for me, it really was just like to
see what
happens, or just understand like what that process even entails. And it was kind of to drive interest ahead of the gym, I guess, in like who we are, because we posted on Instagram, but not regularly or in any meaningful way. It was just like, if we had an interesting picture, we just posted it. We weren't being like intentional about how we were using Instagram. So I was like, well, we should start doing this ahead of the gym. Even after the gym fell through, we still kept up with it pretty good, and because I have fun doing that stuff. Like, I really enjoy it. It's like so much fun for me to actually work on that stuff. But then as the business started to like be a lot more gray, and we saw that the gym wasn't a thing anymore, not only was I spending so much time building the businesses, that was taking up a lot of time, but I didn't even like have a clear vision for it, and I didn't even know like what the content should look like, and it didn't make sense to start like to continue to put out a lot of stuff that was that wasn't aligned with whatever the business was going to be.
Yeah, and like we were just like, oh well, we gotta like put something out, so like let's figure it out, and it was just like
it got like sloppier and sloppier.
It got sloppier, and we were just like,
I started making excuses. I made one little excuse probably down the line, and I'm sure it became one thing after another, and eventually I wasn't posting anymore. I'm sure that's probably what happened. Although I will say it was a little bit more of like an intentional pause, because I was like, there's no need for us to be. It doesn't make sense for us to be doing this. And there also just was not that time. Because I didn't have a why at that point.
Yeah, and now, I mean, again, it all lined up that it almost seems like it's a resolution, but it lined up with the end of the year. You planned out, and you went through and made, I mean, I don't even know how many different options of things to post, and like under which topic and under like whose profile, like all these different things and collaborations, all of this. And now we have a very clear picture of what needs to go out almost like month to month. And a very clear schedule of how it's going to be shot, where it needs to be shot, whether it's in the house or in the gym, somewhere out, like being out somewhere. And it's a very clear vision. And so we started that this past weekend.
So I realized that one of the problems was like, we were planning week to week what we were going to be, this is last year. We were planning week to week what we were going to shoot. And then we would like put it on the calendar for that week, and then have to like figure it out. And that was only sustainable for so long, especially without having a real clear vision of like what we're putting out and why we're putting it out. So it eventually got more and more difficult to like figure out what we were going to be posting on a regular week. And then again, like I said, on top of that, it's like I'm actually building a business. So like I don't know why I'm marketing a business that like I don't even know what it is, like it truly is yet necessarily. So I put together, and there was an episode a few episodes back where I read through like pretty much this entire like project plan that I have. But I put together from July through the end of the year a 6 month, 2 months apiece, 3 different sprints of July and August was operations, September and October was sales, content, and then November and December, even with all the holidays and everything else, was like finalizing a lot of like marketing stuff specifically. And a lot of that meant like I can't on a week-to-week basis be determining what we're going to be shooting. Honestly, on a month-to-month basis, I can't really be determining specifically like what I can't like be coming up with ideas, scripting it, shooting it, editing it, and posting it all in a month. I need at least a repository of like hundreds of ideas that I can pick from, where I can go, I know exactly what I want to say about this. Now all I need to do is like flesh it out. So I've come up with a structure now that we started this month. Again, not a resolution, just so happens to be, it is not an arbitrary start. It just, the project plan ended at the end of the year, to pull X number of ideas each month that fall and then like break those up into like several different categories, script them all out, come up with a shooting plan, come up with an editing plan, and then post them. And we're in the process right now of, as of this week, seeing how that goes. We already mentioned that like this is on a schedule now. It's all part of like the same like system and strategy and process that we're talking about.
But like it had to be planned out like this. So like someone might be like, wow, that sounds like so intense. But like if this is going to be sustainable, like there has to be a plan like this. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
Like there's no way we could have just been like, our goal is to like push content and have a podcast and do all these things, but not have it like on the calendar of what's going to be done, when it's going to be done, how it's going to be done, and like plan, execute, dominate.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like literally, that's what this is. It's like the mark in the grand scheme of it.
That's exactly like, I guess, the point that I was trying to make is like, the only way you make it sustainable is to have like a system that makes sense. And yeah, it took me a long time to figure out exactly what it looked like. And I was working through it myself. And then we also hired Sophia a few months ago to like help us like look at what we did, look at what we want to do, help us like understand more like from a creative content like perspective, like what it should look like and feel like and sound like, etc. But I needed to like from scratch go, okay, what is our business? What message do we want to get across? What can we speak about? Like if I want to post regularly, like we have me, we have you, we have Supernova, we have True Fitness and Focus, we have Genius at Work. That's 5 different things that we need to be posting for and about. How do we like make that much content, cross promote, make it sustainable? And that required like a lot for me to like wrap my mind around and build a process around. And it took me a while. It no doubt did, but now we're like actually doing it. And first off, it's been fun. Like we've had a lot of fun with it. I'm in a place now where like my week is actually kind of like what I want my week to be, or what I've wanted it to be, because I haven't wanted it to be all the operation stuff. I hate that stuff. I hate systems and processes. I like having the system in the process. I don't like building it, which is funny because like does happen to be like what I'm good at, but like I like doing the creative stuff. And now it's like I get to spend my days writing scripts and shooting content and editing that content and like telling a story and relaying a message, and like that even just in the last few days has been like so much fun and so fulfilling and so enjoyable. And then on top of that, my other time is spent actually like coaching my clients. It's my dream life. I'm living my dream life right now in real time. Those are the things I want to be doing, and I'm doing it, and I'm making money doing it. That's fucking cool. That's fucking awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, that's why I needed to spend that much time like figuring out how to make it sustainable. And I'm not saying that it will be 100%. Like we're going to have to make some tweaks, but like right now it feels pretty awesome. It feels good. Awesome. It feels good. So that would be the other business goal for this year is to continue to work through making that sustainable.
Yeah, we're at almost 60 minutes.
Okay.
And then we talked the real estate stuff. Travel goals.
Travel goals for this year.
Yeah.
You know one. We know, a few of them.
A few.
Yeah.
Well, we booked Tulum.
Yep.
For March, which will be nice.
Well, hold on. I'm going to the inauguration in 2 weeks.
That's your travel goal.
Yeah, I know. That's still a travel goal. That's my travel goal. I'm going to the inauguration. Can't wait. I got my brand new suit.
You do look good in that suit.
I look great in that suit.
Yeah.
You know I do.
You do. I just said that you look good in that suit.
I came down the suit. I go, babe, you are going to love what you're about to see. And you go, what? And then
I go, what? Your penis?
And I came downstairs and your jaw hit the floor. You're like,
oh. And you're like something, or I can't remember what you said, but you're like,
I don't know what I said.
Second best or something. I don't remember what you said.
Oh, yeah. I said, you're going to love what you're about to see. And you said, your penis? And I said, next best thing.
Yeah, you looked good in it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go to that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Then we have Tulum.
Yes.
Is there something else in between?
Well, we want to get to Jersey.
I know, but I think I can't imagine going up to Jersey in the winter.
We'll figure out. Yeah,
like it's fucking like 20, 40 degrees here and I'm miserable. I can't imagine Jersey.
So then we're doing almost a full week in Tulum.
Yeah.
In early March, which will be great. We've been to Mexico a dozen times, if not more. And we've been to Cancun, we've been to Riviera Maya, we've been to Mexico City, Cabo. Puerto Vallarta, Valle de Bravo.
Oh, yeah.
And is that it?
Maybe.
And we've been to like Cancun and Cabo and Puerto
Yeah.
Vallarta like multiple times. But we've never been to Tulum, interestingly enough. And of course, like that's like at least more recently, like the more popular, cool, hip place to go. And we got like a super dope boutique hotel right on the beach, beautiful sweet villa with like a little pool, little mini private pool, which I am really
I can't
stoked
wait
about. That'll be fun. That'll be cool.
to swim in that private pool.
Yeah, I know.
One of the things.
And then we're thinking hopefully another Europe trip
Yeah.
in the summer. You know, of course, we'll see how everything goes, but
Yeah.
it's shaping up that
I
that'll
want
be...
to get back to Sedona this year
that's
too.
right. Sedona,
I really do
probably
want a
in, like,
Sedona.
May.
Yeah.
A May Sedona trip. That's like an easy little hot flight, and it's not like that's not anything you have to like really plan for. You just like grab your hiking stuff and find a
Grab my backpack.
hotel with a spa.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and grab your backpack and your hiking gear. That's easy. The other one that we're thinking is in like later in the summer or something would be Amsterdam, Paris, maybe Berlin because your cousin was in town.
Yeah.
Which we had dinner with them, and he's in Berlin, and apparently it's a 5-hour
Like train
train
ride.
ride from Paris, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll do that too. Maybe we'll add that to the list. But it would be, I was thinking Amsterdam, Paris, south of France. Over the course of like 2 weeks.
Yeah. That sounds lovely.
Is that what we want to do?
I mean, that does sound really good.
And then like if we wanted to do a quick
Yeah, I
day
think-
in Berlin or something, maybe
Yeah.
something like that. That seems like a lot, but whatever.
Whatever.
Other than that, and going back to New Jersey at some point, I feel like that's probably going to be all the travel that we can like
Fit in right now.
if not just like fit in, and like we gotta be putting money into the business. So I feel like those
I know.
trips are probably sufficient for the year.
And maybe a Tony Robbins.
And maybe a Tony Robbins at the end of the year. I would love to do
A
that.
UPW.
That's a business expense, baby. That only makes us better. So we are definitely, that's truly a business expense. So maybe we'll do either UPW or Date with Destiny at the end.
Oh yeah,
of this
David
year.
Destiny's the one.
I would like to do Date with, I wouldn't, if you really wanted to go to UPW, I would go. I would, at this point, like I would be, the only thing I would truly be pumped about is going to Date with Destiny.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's like a,
Just go all in
it's
the
like a
whole
week.
week
yeah.
of Tony. It's a lot.
You would love it. You would love it. I have been to only one Tony Robbins event. I have been to Unleash the Power Within, which is like the entry-level Tony experience.
I read that book.
It's 4 days, and it was life-changing. Go watch episode 2 if you haven't.
Yeah.
It was truly like a transformative experience for me. It changed the course of my life because I was watching this man, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This. I need to be the short Jack Tony Robbins. So that has literally become like my goal ever since.
Your mantra.
I am the short Jack Tony Robbins. I'm not going to be. I am.
Yeah.
I embody.
I hear you with your clients.
The short Jack Tony Robbins.
That's for sure.
But if we wanted to do a Date with Destiny, I'd be super down for that. And I'm sure there's a few friends that would be more than happy to tag along as well.
For sure.
I know you had those questions, but maybe we just save those for next week. We're on a weekly schedule now, so we need things to talk about.
That's true. Yeah.
Why don't you tease them?
Okay. So my friend sent me this at the end of 2 weeks ago, at the end of 2024, and it was like 20 plus questions to sit down with your partner to kind of reflect on like the year and your relationship through like your career, your spiritual growth, your relationship in general, what your goals are, like what you accomplished in 2024, what do you want to carry over into 2025? And so I wrote the questions out, and I figured it'd be really fun to kind of go through them and just have a discussion about it. And I think it's just a really good exercise
I
to
love
do.
it. And you read a few of them to me, and I honestly have not spent any time like really thinking about any
No,
of
I
the
read them
questions.
to you, and like some of them are like, the one question is like, what day of 2024 do you want to like relive?
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I will not think about these questions between now and next week, and then we'll spend some time going through those. Because again, like, this might just be what the podcast becomes. Oh, another goal.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap on this. Another goal for 2023, or 2023. What is wrong with me? Another goal for 2025 is to have guests on this podcast. We want probably like every other week, something like that, for there to be a guest on the podcast. So it's not just us talking about our weekends and how smart we are.
Yeah, Jay.
That's literally what this episode was our weekends.
No, we talked about what our goals are, and we talked a little bit about
how smart we are.
No, about resolutions and versus goals.
And we're going, your resolutions are dumb. Ours are smart.
You said that.
So, we feel like there's so many people that I would love to talk to. There's so many people that like have audiences and that have a message and have, something to say. And that doesn't mean that I want to talk to you. I'll just say that right out of the gate. That does not mean that I want to talk to you. I want to talk to people that I'm actually impressed by, who have like done something fucking cool. I have a few ideas for people who like I would definitely want to have on.
For sure.
So I'll also say this: if you in the audience have ideas of people who, or you yourself are a person who is interested in speaking with us and you've done something impressive, then let us know. Like, give us ideas, because we're going to start reaching out to people, because that will help make this more sustainable for sure. And like, I think it'll help grow the podcast.
Yeah, and like I think it would be great too to get a broader audience, and just even show, like, highlight people that we think have some value to like bring to others.
I mean, like, it really just comes down to like, I love asking questions. So it's like, do I find you interesting enough to like ask you an hour's worth of questions and like dig in? And like, I know there's plenty of people out there that fit that category. So cool. All right. Good job. That was solid. No?
Yeah.
It was okay.
Episode 1 of 2025.
See ya.